بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى خصوصا على محمد المصطفى وعلى آله وأصحابه أولي الصدق والصفاء أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى جل جلاله في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد جاءكم من الله نور وكتاب مبين صدق الله مولانا العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وصحبك يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا سيدي يا رسول Dear eminences, the highly respectable Muslim scholars, and ladies and gentlemen, we are here to celebrate the birthday of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. So this topic requires a lot of arguments, a lot of authorities. Here in these days, there are many persons who refuse the authenticity and genuineness of the birthday of the Holy Prophet. Therefore, it is my sacred duty to answer all of the questions mostly raised nowadays, whether this is lawful or unlawful. First of all, we will have to define the birthday. What is the celebration of birthday? Celebration of birthday is a word which is mostly discussed by the previous Muslim scholars. The days which are concerning with the conception of the Prophet and his duration during the fetusship of that embryo, when he was in the womb of mother, what type of miracles came in existence, and how many abnormal things and supernatural was seen by the mother, by the ladies surrounding his mother. Not only those events are collected, but the events which happened before the birth, at the time of birth, or after the birth, during the childhood, when he was sucking baby. All these abnormals are collected by the Muslim scholars and they are discussed and they are elucidated just to show that when a person attains the age of maturity and he attends the school and goes to the college and universities and he attends the gentry of the highly qualified people, he can learn many things from the other people and he can fabricate many things which are not genuine. But when he is in the womb of mother, that time is not for the fabrication. It is not possible for a fetus, for an embryo fetus before the structure of the body in the womb of mother. That time is called fetus. And after that embryo, and the total period is called embryology. The total embryology is also a part of celebration of birthday of the Prophet. What is the meaning of celebration? Means this is just to establish the fact that if he were not a genuine or actual prophet, he could not shown such a thing which were shown by him before his birth, after his birth, at the time of birth. Therefore, according to the Muslim research scholar, the birthdays are the days which are the first invitation to the genuineness of his prophethood. This is why the first evidence by Hazrat Abbas radiallahu anhu, his uncle, the uncle of the Prophet, he says that أَوَّلُ مَا دَعَانِي فِي الدُّخُولِ فِي إِسْلَامِكَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ إِذْ كُنْتَ فِي الْمَاضِ كُنْتَ تَرَاهُ الْقَمَرَ. The first invitation by your prophethood to enter or to accept Islam was the event when you were in the cradle and you were talking to the moon, and the moon was dancing according to your indication. So I was believing that if you were not a genuine prophet of Allah, so it was not possible for you to make the moon dance on the indication of your finger. Therefore, according to Islamic ideology, the first invitation of a prophet is his childhood, his birth, and the celebration of birth means that just to establish the fact that he was really a genuine person. When many abnormals, very supernatural, many miracles were shown at the time of his birth, it means that he could not fabricate the prophethood, but he was really a genuine person. For instance, when Nabi Kareem was in the forehead of his father, when his father wanted to get married with a girl, he accompanied his father, Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, because Hazrat Abdul Muttalib was also married there in Medina Sayyibah. During the journey, he came across many beautiful girls who were ambitious to get married with Muhammad Rasulullah, with Abdullah radiallahu anhu, the father of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah. When he got married in Medina Sayyibah and they united in the night of Monday, and the light of Muhammad Rasulullah was assigned and transferred to the womb of Sayyidah Amina. While coming back, the same ladies came across him, but they did not show any ambition to get married with him. They were not desirous. So Hazrat Abdullah asked them, why were they not interested in his marriage when they were badly ambitious and desirous to get married with him while going to Medina Sayyibah? No, when he came back from Medina Sayyibah, they were not interested because he had got married in Medina Sayyibah and both of the husband and wife united in the night of Monday, and the light of Muhammad Mustafa was communicated to the mother. So that light was transferred. Therefore, they were not interested in getting married with Hazrat Abdullah. So it means that the light of the Holy Prophet was not only intelligible, but it was sensible as well. It was really light. It was not a metaphorical use of nur. Nur was in real meaning, and it was used in connection with Muhammad Mustafa just to denote the existence of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If the light of Muhammad Mustafa was used just for the metaphorical meaning, the light would not have been seen on the face of Hazrat Abdullah. When that light was obvious enough to be seen in the face of, in the forehead of Hazrat Abdullah, it means that it was not a metaphorical meaning, but it was in the real meaning. There was no ambiguity in the meaning of light. It was in real meaning, and it was not only sensible, but not only intelligible, but it was sensible. It could have been seen by the society, because when he was going to Medina Tayyibah, his light was visible. Everybody could have seen it. But while coming back, no one was in position to see that light. It means that this light was not metaphorical meaning, but this light was in the real meaning. And actually, Nabi Kareem was light. When such things were expressed by the society, at that time the Quran was not revealed, and the sympathy with the religion of Muhammad Mustafa was not found with the society, and these events were recorded by the impartial people. They were not Muslims. It means that it is a fact which does not require any partiality or any support, but it was an impartial evidence of the people that Nabi Kareem was light. When Abu Siddiq says he is a light, Umar Farooq says he is a light, Usman Ghani says he is a light, Hazrat Ali says he is a light. It can be partial evidence, but in those days there was no Umar, no Abu Bakr, no Usman, no Ali, and no companion of the Holy Prophet. These evidences were collected by the common people who were quite impartial. It means that the Nabi Kareem being nur, being light, is a matter which was established before the announcement of the prophethood. Nabi Kareem did not proclaim in those days that he was a prophet, but the meaning of light was established before the proclamation of the prophet. It means that prophethood was a matter of subsequent, but the establishment of the light was preceding to it. It was already established. The story of the prophethood was initiated and started afterwards. But the case of the light of Muhammad Mustafa had been already decided by the previous society. And when Sayyid and this question really based us that there is no proof of birthday. Certain prophets' birthday was celebrated in the Holy Quran. For instance, what is the meaning of celebration? Just to explain the events of the time of birth of the Prophet, or abnormality which existed before the birth of the Prophet. For instance, the birthday of Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, was celebrated in the Holy Quran. وَأَوْخَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَى. So this was an introduction to the celebration of birthday of Hazrat Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. Grace and peace of Allah be upon him. When he was an embryo in the womb of mother, Allah Rabbul Izzat revealed to Yohannes, the mother of Hazrat Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, that a son is going to be born to you, but you should, nothing is to be worried about. It is not your duty to protect him. It is my blessing who is responsible for his safety and for his protection. SubhanAllah. And what is the way to protect him? That Allah suggested to her that your newly born son should be put in a box, and that box should be thrown into the river. So these things are abnormals. Abnormality of the birthday of the Holy Prophet shows that he is really a fact. Subhanallah. He is a genuine prophet. It is not a fabricated story. If a person tries to protect his son, is it possible for him to put it in the box and throw it in the river? No. It means that he was an abnormal son. He was an abnormal person. He was a genuine person. He was really a prophet of Allah. Therefore, abnormal routes were followed by his mother according to the instructions of Allah to protect him and to save him. Really, in those days, there was a system of infecticide. In those days, the infinitives would be slaughtered, would be killed. And there was a question. Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, was from the same society as was victimized in those days. So therefore, it was a great question how Moses would be protected and would be rescued. Allah said, it is not your duty to rescue him, it is my responsibility. I shall protect him. And you will have to put in the box and then throw it in the river Nile. She said, I am too poor to provide a box. Box is not available with me. Rabbi Karim said that this is celebration of birthday of a prophet. It is not your duty to provide the box. It is my duty, it is my responsibility to provide you with the box wherein Moses is going to be put in. That box was made in Jannah, in paradise. And it was duty of Hazrat Gabriel to provide her with the box which was required by her to protect Hazrat Moses, may grace and peace upon him. You are saying that the celebration of the birthday of the Holy Prophet was not established, not was mentioned in the Holy Quran. What is the more celebration? Then the Gabriel came with the box just to celebrate the birthday of a prophet. The box was brought down and it was put in front of Hazrat Sayyid Yohannes, the mother of Moses, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him. And Moses was put in that box, and after that, that box was thrown in the river Nile. It is possible for a person that he is thrown in the river and then he is alive. He does not drown. He does not drown. It means that Moses was an abnormal person. He was not equivalent to the other people. He cannot be equalized with other people. Other people cannot be equal to him because he was a prophet. Therefore, his birthday was really abnormal one. Gabriel was manager of that box, and that box was used for the birthday of the Holy Prophet. And that box became a predestine of the community which was suffering the slavery. In those days, the Israelites were the slave, and their prophet was duty bound to revive them. And he said, Allah has appointed Talut as your king. He will be caliph. It means that in the presence of a prophet, a caliph can be appointed. But caliphate is not a sign of superiority. He is a caliph, but who is preferable? Who is superior? His Qiyam is superior, while the caliph was Talut. But the community was not ready to accept him as their caliph. So accept him as their caliph. Therefore they demanded the Prophet to provide with the proof that he is really our Caliph. Look, they are believing in a person as a prophet, yet they are trying to demand the proof for the authenticity of Caliphate of Talut. Such people have already passed in the previous communities that after believing in a person as a prophet, they are demanding the proof. The explanation and quotation and precept of the prophet was enough to believe that this is a fact, this is a truth, this is a truth. But yet they demanded the further proof that now it is your duty to prove that he was appointed by Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالَ لَمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ آيَةَ مُلْكِهِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَكُمُ التَّابُوتُ فِيهِ سَكِينَةٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَبَقِيَّةٌ مِّمَّا تَرَكَ آلُ مُوسَىٰ وَآلُ هَارُونَ. Allah, according to Allah's order, Ismail told them that the sign of genuineness of Talut as a caliph would be the restoration of that box which was used in the birthday of Moses migration of peace of Allah. What was the background of that restoration? Really, those people were very careless and very blasphemous against that box. They were saying that our old people were very olden type people and they were uneducated. They were not properly educated persons. Therefore, they were believing in the sacredness of this box, and they thrown it on the common place, and it was taken by their enemy. But when that box was transferred to the enemy, the power was also transferred to the enemy, and they were deprived of the power. It means that as long as the birthday of the Holy Prophet was their resort, they were trying to resort to the birthday of the Holy Prophet, and they were using that box. Up to that time, they were powerful, they were grand, they were superior to the society. When they detached themselves from the relationship of the birthday of the Holy Prophet, they were deprived of the power as well. It means that the birthday is a mystery of the power of the community. As long as a community is attached and linked with the birthday of the Holy Prophet, the throne and crown are always with them on that birthday. And when they lost that box, the power was also snatched from them. That was extorted from them. The power went where the box went. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you would be crowned with the success, provided that box which have been lost would be provided to you, and that box would be restored to them. When that box would be restored to them, the power would also be restored to them. It means that this is the sign, the mystery of alternation of the power. As long as a community is attached and associated with the birthday of the Prophet, they are always powerful and very successful, and they are in position to subjugate, to conquer the other people. But when they are detached, when they are separated from the celebration of the birthday of the Holy Prophet, they are deprived of the power as well. They are deprived of the bounties of Allah as well. Quran says, وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ آيَةَ مُلْكِهِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَكُمُ التَّابُوتُ, means you be granted the power, granted the respect and honor, provided that box which was lost will be restored to them. I think the point is clear enough to understand. Here, what was that box? فِيهِ سَكِينَةٌ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَبَقِيَّةٌ مِّمَّا تَرَكَ آلُ مُوسَىٰ. Means there are certain relics. What was those relics? The relics were the shoes of Hazrat Moses, may grace and peace of Allah, and the turban of Aaron, alayhi salatu wasalam. These two things, they were not bomb, grenade, or missile or other armament of the fight or battle. They were just certain relics which would be used by those prophets. Allah tried to make us understand that you are careless about the relics of the Prophet and the birthday of the Prophet, but I shall show you, I shall explain to you and elucidate to you that the shoe of the Prophet can do what cannot be done by the bombs, by the missiles, by the...
Subhanallah.
They were just relics. So this is celebration of the birthday of Moses, may grace and peace. Grace and peace of Allah be upon him. But this story does not end at this time. It was explained in the story of Imam Mahdi Akhir Zaman. The cause of nomination of Mahdi is that Mahdi means a person properly guided by. When a person is properly guided, that is called Mahdi. What is the proper guidance which was provided to others? Imam Mahdi, the same books which was used by the Israelites, that was really snatched from that society because they were careless about the birthday of the Holy Prophet and the relics of the Prophet. Therefore, that was extorted and they were really bereaved. They were bereaved from the relics, and that was hidden in the cave of Antakya. When Allah Rabbul Izzat would like to give the dignity to Hazrat Imam Mahdi Akhir Zaman, Allah will provide him with the proper guidance to that cave, and that sanduk would be, that box would be found out. And that would be with the Imam Mahdi Akhir Zaman. The last resort of the guidance is attached with the birthday of the Holy Prophet. The birthday of the Holy Prophet is really a cause of success and a cause of power. So this is just to make them understand that this idea is totally wrong. But when Allah Rabbul Izzat would like to give a person such a power by which he would be able to abolish all of the infidelity, all of the paganism, idolatry, all of the non-Islamic activities. Allah will send a person whose name is Imam Mahdi, and he will provide him with proper guidance just to find out that box which was used in the birthday of a prophet. So I think this is enough proof that the celebration of birthday of a prophet is a mystery of power of the community. In addition to that, the birthday of Jesus was celebrated by the Holy Quran. When his mother was in the Dome of Rock, so she would be granted the fruit, unseasoned fruit, without season. كلما دخل عليها زوجها المحراب وجد عندها رزقا قال يا مريم أنى لك هذا قالت هو من عند الله. When Zakaria would come to Saint Mary, he would find many various type of fruit without season around the Sayyida Maryam, Saint Mary, and he would ask, "Anna laki hadha? How did you find it?" She said, "Huwa min indillah." So it was sent by my Allah. But in those days, availability of those fruit were not according to the choice of Saint Mary, but it was sent to Saint Mary only by the choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There was no involvement of intention of Saint Mary. But when she became the mother of Jesus, when she gave birth to Jesus, she became mother of a prophet, and that was day of the birth of a prophet. Previously, you would get the fruit without your intention. Those fruits were available to you according to my choice. But now, this is a birthday of a prophet. Therefore, the system has been changed, now you will get the fruit according to your own choice. No, you should shake the branches of the dry palm tree, and it will throw down the date fruit, which is fresh and properly ripe. Why? This is a birthday of the Prophet we are going to celebrate. We are just showing that your previous status was you were entitled to receive the fruit from Allah according to the choice of Allah. Now your status has been changed, and this is the day of the birthday of the Prophet. Therefore your status has been changed, and you are entitled to receive the fruit according to your own choice. Quran says, when Saint Mary brought her son to the community, she said, this is the verse, فَأَشَارَتْ إِلَيْهِ قَالُوا كَيْفَ نُكَلِّمُ مَنْ كَانَ فِي الْمَهْدِ صَبِيًّا. Firstly, they exclaimed with a sorrow, because she was coming from a very noble family. They said, you are offspring of very noble family, therefore it was not appropriate on your part to provide the son without nikah, without marriage, without husband, because the system of the offspring of and posterity of a human being was the union of a lawful couple. So without husband you have brought the son, so therefore it is highly objectionable, and you caused a great blemish to the honor of your family. Kalu, Ya Maryam laqad jita shay'an fariya. Oh Maryam, you have brought a son which is a great blemish on the face of your community, and you have damaged the honor of nobility of your family. She said, فَأَشَارَتْ إِلَيْهِ. Saint Mary indicated towards his newly born son. قَالُوا كَيْفَ نُكَلِّمُ مَنْ كَانَ فِي الْمَهْدِ صَبِيًّا. They began to say, how can we talk to a person, to a baby who is a baby in the cradle? He is not in a position to talk. But at the same time, Jesus cried out, Inni Abdullah. I am slave of Allah. So this is the celebration of birthday of a prophet. Allah tries to make us understand that. You should be able to understand that the prophet and non-prophet are not equal to each other. He is a prophet, and the birthday of a prophet shows that he is a normal person. You have to equalize yourself. You are not equivalent to him. He is really matchless and abnormal person. And you have got no similarity with him, because he is in the cradle and he is speaking. Inni Abdullah, ana slave of Allah. Atani al-kitaba wa ja'alani nabiyya. He said, Allah gave me the book, the scripture. In those days, scripture was not given to him, but the gospel was going to be given to him afterwards. But he explained it with the past tense. It means that the prophet's knowledge has no difference between future and past. According to him, the thing which is going to happen is so certain that he can say that it has already happened. It was going to happen afterwards. The people who say that the prophet does not know what is going to happen in the future, this is a slap on their face. That you should know that when a prophet was in the cradle and the system of Gabriel did not start, even then he was in position to tell. And this is a rejection, the belief that the people say that unless the angel comes to the prophet, he does not know any unseen secrets. Now the Gabriel did not involve here, but the prophet says what is going to happen. According to me, that has already happened. Subhanallah. The prophet can know the future without the intervention of the Gabriel. Subhanallah. So this belief is totally wrong, that unless an angel intervene, a prophet cannot know. Now, without the intervention of an angel, the Prophet can know about the future. وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. And his Prophet was what was going to be proclaimed afterwards, but he declared before that time. He said that Allah Rabbul Izzah had declared me, has decided me as a prophet. Allah declared me as a prophet. I am prophet of Allah as well. So this is the birthday of a prophet in the Holy Quran. Explanation of the time, explanation of the events and the miracles and abnormals and supernatural of the childhood. This is called celebration of birthday. According to Islamic terminology, this explanation, this statement, this elucidation, this explanation is called celebration of the birthday. If you study all of the books concerning with the birthday, you will come to know that the events before the birth and after the birth, during the birth and during the childhood, all of them are a part of celebration of birth of a prophet. So this claim is totally wrong, that there is no proof of celebration of any prophet, birthday of any prophet in the Holy Quran. The previous birthday was explained to you that Moses was a person, not only he himself was a blessing of Allah, but that box which was used for the celebration of the birthday of the Prophet, that was also a mystery of ups and downs of the community. And this is the second event of the Holy Quran, in the Holy Quran, about the birthday of a prophet, that a prophet was born, but the total atmosphere was changed. The status of a mother was also changed. Previously, the fruit would come according to the choice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But just after the birthday of the Prophet, the status of his mother was also changed. Just like you are celebrating the birthday of the Holy Prophet, you must realize a change in your life, in your income, in your business, in your health, in your reputation, in your progress. That only the mother became a mother of a prophet. Her status was changed. This is the second event in the Holy Quran. And celebration by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jesus said, As-salamu alayya, yawma wulidtu, wa yawma amutu, wa yawma ub'asu hayya. Peace be upon me, the day when I was born, and on the day when I pass away, and on the day when I will be resurrected. The three days are a cause of the sending down of peace of Allah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which are concerning directly or indirectly with my birth. Yawma wulidtu wa yawma amutu wa yawma ub'asu hayya. Not only that day is eligible to be celebrated when I was born, but the time of my death is also worthier with a stronger reason to be celebrated. So, if you are just questioning about the birthday, it is your duty to celebrate the day of their death as well. And when the judgment day would exist, and the judgment day would be held on the time of judgment, then all of the prophets would be resurrected from their shrines, and there would be a sending down of peace by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the bodies of the prophets. So I think these two events are enough to establish the fact that the celebration of the birthday of the Prophet is a great reason of the blessing of Allah, and many qualities of Allah are sent down because of the celebration of the birth of the Holy Prophet. Now the third position is going to be discussed in the Holy Quran, that birthday is always celebrated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran. For instance, the third birthday was explained by the Holy Quran when Hazrat Ismail was born, and he was left there in Mecca Sharif. Rabbi inni askantu min zurriyati biwadin ghayri zi zar'in. Oh my Allah, I have established some of my offspring it means that Ibrahim was in position to know. He knew that the further progeny and posterity will also come into existence.
Subhanallah.
Means this mere further means this is some of my offspring.
Subhanallah.
The people who say that the Nabi does not know what is in the womb, whether male baby or female baby. Ibrahim said that I know that this is one of my offspring, but he is one of them. The other one will also come. His offspring would not end on Ismail, but there would be also other progeny and posterity of Hazrat Ibrahim as well. And at that time, his mother was without food, without drinking of water, and there was what is that? Since Sayyid Hagar, Hajra is called in English Hagar. Hagar was all along the year without food, without residence, no lodging, no boarding, and she was all alone. And at that time, since he was not eating anything, there was no milk in her breast. Therefore, she went away to find out the water, just to rescue the life of her son. But he was moving here and there, and climbing up and coming down from the mountains. She was very anxious and very sad and very disturbed. But all of a sudden, she happened to see to the feet of Hazrat Ismail, since he was badly thirsty, therefore he began to wriggle, and he began to rub his heels on the ground, and there was a gushing of water in a form of mountain, a form of fountain, and there was a spring of water. Sayyida went there, and she made a fence around the water, and she said, Zam, 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 Zam. This is a miracle of birthday of a holy prophet. These were the days of a prophet. So this is enough proof to substantiate the fact that the celebration of birthday was initiated by the Holy Quran itself. And Allah Rabbul Izzat made her see that the bounties, the blessings of Allah, which cannot be obtained from the peaks of the mountains or the depths of the valleys, that can be obtained by means of clinging against the feet of a prophet. The water was not available on the peak of the mountains as well, in the depth of the valleys as well, but it was found with the heels of a prophet. When he was a child, a baby. So this is the celebration of the birth. And when there was a time that Hazrat Ibrahim was in position to play with his son, and they began to work together, they made Kaaba Sharif, but they made a platform, just you are making this platform for the celebration of the birthday of the Holy Prophet. They made a platform in the name of Kaaba Sharif, and at that time, the sign of a mosque, appropriate to a mosque, is for one to offer the prayer. But instead of offering the prayer, he began to say, Rabbana wab'as fihim Oh my Allah, I have prepared the platform. I have made Kaabatullah, and I am Khalilullah, and this is Zabiullah. Now I am demanding the Nurullah. Because the bath cannot populate it without light. We have prepared Kaabatullah, and the sacred hands were used for the preparation and construction of this home, and this home was prepared. Now we have made a platform, and we shall ask for the coming of the Prophet. This is the birthday.
Subhanallah.
He prayed for the birthday of Muhammad Mustafa. Otherwise, he himself was Khalilullah, friend of Allah, and he had made a house. He had constructed a building. Under these circumstances, he should have offered the prayer. It was an appropriate time for offering the prayer. Instead of offering the prayer, he began to say, "Oh my Lord, I shall request you to send the person who is supreme power in the mosque." When a person does the service, when the salary is paid to him, then the importance of service is shown. The greater the salary, the greater the importance of that job. No one else is mentioned in the 5-day prayers, in the 5 prayers of a day, except Ibrahim ﷺ. Since he had prepared the platform and he had decorated it and he had colored and painted and all of the circumstances were completed by Ibrahim ﷺ, and he made the zikr, made the zikr of birth of the Holy Prophet. He celebrated the birthday of the Holy Prophet. Therefore Allah said, "O Ibrahim, you will have to remember that. You have mentioned the name of my Holy Prophet. You have requested the birthday of my Holy Prophet, and I shall reward you." The world will see that no one else would be mentioned in the 5 prayers of a day, but you would be mentioned without fail, every day, 5 times a day in the prayer. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. So Allah taught us that the celebration of the birthday is so valuable that if a person likes to be mentioned after his death, this was the proper prayer of Ibrahim as-Salam. وَجَعَلْ لِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. Oh my Lord, made my zikr, made my memory, made my mention forever in the people who are behind me. Allah said, if you want to be mentioned, to be remembered by the community after you, you should prepare the platform and you decorate it, and after that you should pray for the celebration of the birthday of my Holy Prophet, and your prayer would be accepted. His request was, "Oh my Allah, made my mention, made my memory in the community behind me." Allah said, when you prepare the house and you will decorate it and you mention and you will ask the birth of the Holy Prophet, you would be rewarded the same thing which you have required. So this is enough proof for the substantiation of the fact that the celebration of birthday of 4 prophets was mentioned in the Holy Quran. After that, we will say that the dignity of the Holy Quran was mentioned. The dignity of Muhammad Rasulullah was mentioned by the Holy Quran through Gabriel. But the birthday was mentioned by the non-Muslim as well. The propagation of birthday is more than the Quran. For instance, when all of the idols fell down headlong at the time of birth of the Holy Prophet, so it means that such a scene was never seen, neither before nor afterward, that the idols of total temples fell down headlong. It means that the birth of Muhammad Mustafa was so powerful that this precedent could not be established in the universe at any time, but at the time of birthday of Muhammad Rasulullah or birthday of Jesus. Allama Shawkani, who was the president and founder of the Wahhabism, all of the Wahhabiyya of Arabia or in the other countries, the author of that ideology was Shawkani. He writes in his tafsir, he is in commentary on the Holy Quran. He said that when Jesus was born, all of the idols of different countries and different religions fell down headlong because of the birth of Jesus. When you are believing that at the time of birth of Jesus, all of the idols fell down, so what is the reason for you to refuse that the idols fell down at the time of the birth of the Holy Prophet? You will have to believe. And ultimately they had to believe that at the time of birth of Muhammad Mustafa fell down at the time of birth of the Holy Prophet. And to this fact, there is an exculpatory evidence that Abu Jahl went to Kaaba Sharif and all of the idols were falling down headlong. And he was the nearest neighbor to the wall of Kaaba Sharif. He was really very surprised. He said there was no thud of sound, there was no noise of their falling down. How did they fall down without sound? After that he came to know that this was on the respect of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because that was time of birth of the Holy Prophet. And how did he establish that it was on account of birth of the Holy Prophet? Because the direction of the idols of different idols were different. If they were going to fall down, it was chance for them to fall down on different sides. But they were seeing that all of the idols fell down unitedly to the same direction where Nabi Kareem was. The infidels had to believe that the falling down of the idols were not on account of any seasonal or any further change in the universe, but it was on account of respect of Muhammad Mustafa. But there is a question: when at the time of birth of Jesus, may grace and peace of Allah be upon him, the idols fell down, and at the time of the birthday of the Holy Prophet also the idols fell down. What is the difference between both of them? The difference, you must note it, that at the time of birth of Jesus, only the idols of temple fell down. But at the time of birth of Muhammad Mustafa, not only the idols of temple fell down, but the Atishkada Iran. They were Zoroastrian. They were worshipping the fire. That fire did not extinguish in the previous 1,000 years. 1,000 years. But at the birth of the Holy Prophet, all of a sudden, that fire was extinguished. This was the difference. All of the void, the unlawful institute of liturgical activities were closed. For instance, there was a lake of water which would be used, that is called S.A.W, that was in Syria. When in the morning the person who were worshipping that water, when they went there, they saw that all of a sudden there was not a drop of water there. In the same night, when Nabi Kareem put his foot on the ground, all of a sudden that was dried. So this was the difference. The Atishkade were also extinguished. The lakes which would be worshipped were dried. All of a sudden, any context. And many other things were also shown there. The idolaters, the astrologers who were worshipping the star. All of the stars came to the room of Muhammad Mustafa, which means that, oh Zoroastrian, don't go to the Atishkada, come to me. And the people who were worshipping the water, they were also prohibited by the Holy Prophet. Don't go there, come to me. And the astrologers means the persons who were worshipping the stars, they were also prohibited. That, oh star, oh people, oh astrologers, why are you going to the stars? You should come to me, because all of all of the stars are busy with me.
Subhanallah.
They are. وَلَقَدْ زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِمَصَابِيحَ وَجَعَلْنَاهَا رُجُومًا لِلشَّيَاطِينِ. Some of them are lightning. The other ones are protecting the room of Muhammad from all of the Satans. At that night, the Sayyid was seen that he was running towards the jungle. One of the Arabian people, he said to him, "Who are you?" He said, "My name is Iblis." "Where are you going?" "To the jungle." "Why?" "On this side there is a celebration of birthday." It means that running from the celebration of the birthday, this is sunnah of shaitan. So all of the void and invalid institutes of liturgical activities were also closed. So this is speciality of Muhammad Mustafa. And when Jesus was born, so really all of the idols fell down in the temples, but there was no change in the other side. But when Nabi Kareem was going to be born, then the decoration of the paradise was revised, and all of the doors of hell were closed, and the people who were being punished in the eschatology in Barzakh, the people who were being punished in the Barzakh, all of the affairs concerning with this word are called eschatology. Eschatological punishment were established, were finished, because Nabi Kareem was going to be born. So such a change in the universe was not precedented at any time, at the revelation of the celestial book, at the revelation of any ascension, at the time of revelation of Torah, and at the time of putting Hazrat Ibrahim in the fire. No such an example was established, but at the time of birthday of Muhammad Mustafa, such a things were also established, just to fact that such a revolutionary day was not found in the world as this day of birth of the Holy Prophet. So I think the 5 examples I established from the Holy Quran for the celebration of the birthday of the Prophets, and I have told you the reward of celebration of birthday of Muhammad Mustafa. Nabi Kareem was not born. Before his birth, this celebration was made by Ibrahim and he was rewarded 5 times remembrance for every day. So this was the reward of the celebration of birthday of Muhammad Mustafa. But such extensive and vast type of arrangement were not made at any time. Even when Adam was prostrated before, so such an arrangement was not made. This was the first and last day of the universe, when the total universe was revolutionized. This revolution which was established at the time of birthday of the Holy Prophet cannot be precedented in all of the history of Kainat.
Nare Takbir! Nare Risala! Nare Haydri! Hazur Qibla Mufakkir-e-Islam! Kalimat Hazur Qibla Mufakkir-e-Islam!
Now, Alhamdulillah, I have spoken for 1 hour. Now, I am really tired. I would like to finish the speech and take rest. If there is any question, would be appreciated. I should answer the question. If any person has any type of question relevant with the celebration of the birth of the Holy Prophet, can put the question and I shall answer the question.